So how goes it, folks? Charlie here talking to you. So I told you this was from last week when I went to Greenville Comicon in Greenville, North Carolina. Now, as you can see there, it's a small space. It's a small convention. I think it was $8 to get in for adults, and I believe children under 8, I think, get in for free. And yes, it's a small venue. It's a small price. And it's even not even running that long. It's literally just Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So small go around. I looked up the stats on it. I think the final tally is they got approximately 3,000 people coming through. So 3,000 for a 1-day convention, and was about 7 hours of activity. But these small conventions, I will always argue for them because they provide such a nice space for vendors who are just starting off. Maybe they don't have the inventory to maintain a massive San Diego Comic-Con, or even something smaller like a MegaCon or a MomoCon Animazement, something like that. Oh, yeah, that was an instance there where I almost mistakenly walked into somebody's pictures. I had to be a little careful. But as you can see there, when people are taking pictures, there's still a fair amount of room. So it's not like those bigger conventions where a room can easily get so packed that you cannot move at all. And also, this is one single room. It's just, one massive room, instead of like most conventions where you're bouncing around a convention center to multiple rooms, multiple floors. This is all in one space here. They had a costume contest, had a couple of celebrities. As you can see, there's dozens upon dozens of vendors and artists all there, trying to sell their crafts, connect with their fans, and a lot of amazing things there. I'm gonna have a couple of sub videos after this later on where I go over some of the stuff that I bought today, or bought that day as well. But yeah, this was a good convention. Small conventions matter. Every convention cannot be a massive Comic-Con with triple A-list celebrities all over the place, and the next thing you know, you're paying 40, 50, 60 bucks for a signed autograph. The standing, it's almost standing room only. It's so crowded you can barely move around. And not only that, well, those conventions are also getting way expensive these days. I've noticed that those larger conventions now, a lot of them are starting to go up on price, and they're jumping in increments. Some conventions have now nearly doubled in price compared to what they were just 5-6 years ago. So these smaller affairs, again, I defend them, I argue for them, because one, it's a great place when you have a family, like the little guy right there, because with that smaller setting, the kids aren't, they're not cramped in, they're not crushed. Also, less likely for the weirdos to show up. And you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say the weirdos. So this is very much a family-focused convention. You'll notice that there's, some cosplay where people are almost scantily clad, but there's nothing like egregious going on here because they know it's a family-oriented or family-friendly atmosphere. So that's a good thing to have because, kids should be able to enjoy these spaces as well. And once you get to those larger conventions, it's a lot harder for kids to enjoy them because as those conventions get bigger, more and more things will start showing up in those spaces that's simply not for them. But yeah, you can look through here as I'm walking around the convention center. There's places where people are just sitting down, taking a break. You've got cosplayers that are there selling photographs and posing with cosplayers that come along. We've even got some dedicated spaces there where, some TTRPG gaming was going on. Got crafters there, people doing leather work. The gentleman right there, I believe there to the right, I don't think I got a good shot, was doing work with fur. And this gentleman right here in the very back corner that, you can tell he is Beast Wars Megatron. We're going to come back to him in a future video. But yeah, it was all around a very good experience. I enjoyed it. It let me burn a couple of hours and it only cost me a few dollars. I was able to get some really cool art, some treats, a couple of trinkets, and I actually got to sit down and talk with the Megatron right there. Again, separate video on him later. But thanks for listening to me rant and go on for a few minutes. But yeah, this is their 9th go around. I've been to every single one of them except for 2024 when I got COVID. So hopefully 2027 will be another great one when it comes back around in August. Again, this is Greenville Comicon in Greenville, North Carolina, and it's usually the second or third Saturday in August is about when it usually happens. So if you want a small family-friendly convention to come to, you folks ought to reach out there and check it out for next year, 2027. They haven't announced the date yet, but more than likely it's going to be that second or third Saturday in August. So you folks have a good one. Jolly Yellow out.